Hey everyone, welcome back to the part 2 of my project from module 1 of Alma Better's full stack data science and AI certification course. Before starting with the video, do check out the whole project in Google Colab. Link is in the description. Also, hit the like and share button if you find the content helpful. Post a comment for feedback and suggestions, and also subscribe to my channel. So let's begin. So discussing the next question, which is building a simple calculator in OOPS in Python. So we are going to use the OOPS functionality here. Within OOPS, as we all know, we have the 4 pillars of OOPS, which is for an object-oriented programming. We have the 4 major pillars for that concept, which is data inheritance, data abstraction, encapsulation, and polymorphism. So for that, what we do is we create a class calculator. So it will enclose those particular methods, variables, and objects and functions which will be stored in that particular class itself. And when that class will be called, only then those objects can be accessed. This is what we do when we create a class using OOPS functionality. So here, when we create a calculator method, we can create new methods that is define. This particular keywords specifies defining those particular methods, which are named as add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So we'll give a self object that will return the number 1 and number 2. When we specify the number 1, number 2, it will return this add method will be returning the value for the number 1 and number 2 by carrying out the operation which is requested in that particular method. So what we have here is we will mention these particular methods in such a way that when we call the method which is add, it will return the summed up value of number 1 and number 2. When we call the subtract method, it will return number 1 minus number 2. When we use the multiply method, it returns as the number 1 multiplied by number 2. And lastly, when we call the divide method, if the number 2, which is the denominator, if that will be equal to 0, if the value of that number 2 is equal to 0, it will return the value error. So it will mention that cannot be divided by 0, which is a 0 division error. So we have to return number 1 divided by number 2. So now creating an object out of this particular class, and we'll be calling this class calculator as a function. So testing the values here, when we'll run this particular code, we'll see that this is executed. This particular cell is executed. So the calculator function is called, calculator class is called. Then we run the second function, which will give us the values for the methods that are being called simultaneously. So when we call for the addition operation, we call the add function by using the object dot the method name and giving the number 1 and number 2 values. So here we have given the values to be 10 and 5. So the output is 15. When we subtract 10, when we subtract 5 from 10, we get the output 5. When we multiply 10 to 5, then we get the output as 50. And similarly, when we divide, if the particular denominator for the leg, that is number 2, for this is, if we use 0 here, so we get the answer to be raising an error, which is a value error. So it is raising this error, which is saying cannot divide by 0. The value error is specified here, as you can see, like it is mentioned in the program, in the code. So we are going to mention the answer back to what it was originally. So when we get this answer, it will return without any error, which is 2.0, which is a float value. So this was the second last question. And here we come to the end of this particular video, where we are going to discuss the last question of this video, which is from exception handling. So here in this particular question, what we have here is we are already given a program which calculates the average temperature of a city for a given week. We already have this particular code written here, which has some logical errors and are causing the problem to output the incorrect results. So as you can see, we are given two sets of weekly temperatures and we need to find the average of each individual week. So for rectifying those errors, we are going to read up the whole code one by one. We are going to take up the temperatures for the week 1 list. This list comprises of 7, like the length of this list is 7, and it is going to loop. We are going to loop for using the for loop by defining a variable, which is temperature, and it will be looping through the each of the elements from the temperatures for the week 1 list. And we are here defining a random variable, which is sum, and it will be incremented by this particular variable which is defined, and it will be taking the value in sequence from the week 1 temperatures list. So as we can see, when we take out the average, for that average, we are using the formula of average is equal to the sum, which is incremented by temperature variable, taking the values from the week 1 temperatures list, divided by the length of this list, which is 7. So as we can see, the print statement that is giving the value of this sum in degrees Celsius is returning the value to be 232 degrees Celsius, which is a wrong value, which is a wrong result. So for rectifying this logical error, we are going to run the code again. First of all, we'll run this code and we'll see that the so we can see there's a type error. Also, there are a lot of errors which are not supported. So we are going to correct this code by creating a new code. So we are again defining the values for the week 1 and week 2. We have taken up the same values. We can see that the error is majorly because the first variable that we have defined here is, which is sum, it is not initialized. So as we can see, we have initialized this particular variable by using the term total underscore sum for this. And we have initialized to 0. This particular variable is initialized to 0, first of all. Then we'll be trying the loop. We'll be defining a variable which is temperature. It will be looping from the list of week 1, temperatures for the week 1. And then the total sum variable will be incremented by taking up the temperature values for one by one from the temperatures for the week 1 list. And when we take out this average, which will be equal to the total underscore sum value divided by the length of the temperature for the week 1. And we are here avoiding the hard coding of the length. We are not writing 7. Even if we write this down, that won't make a difference. So when we do that here, the output of the result will be for the week 1 will be 31.0 degrees Celsius, which is giving the right answer, which is as requested. So as we can see, the average of the temperature for the week 1 is 31 degrees Celsius. So this is the end of this video. Thank you for watching.